Okay. Good afternoon. In this lecture, we have started with Unit 4, Fast Fourier Transform Algorithm. So before going for Fast Fourier Transform algorithm, we will be focusing upon the computational complexity. So in the computational complexity here, you can observe that if we directly apply a DFT formula for calculation of DFT coefficient or frequency samples, or for converting time domain signal into frequency domain signal, there are n complex multiplications are required for 1 point DFT computations, and n-1 complex additions are required for calculation of 1 point DFT. There are n number of points because the k varies from 0 to n-1, and n small n is also varying from 0 to n-1. So for 1 point DFT computation, here it is stating that this is for each DFT computation, or we can say it as 1 point DFT computation. The algorithm takes n complex multiplication, n-1 complex addition. For now, further we can say that for n point DFT computation, it will take n multiplied by n, these many multiplications, and n multiplied by n-1 number of complex addition for computation of n point DFT. So here we have considered directly a complex value. When we again distribute complex value in terms of real part and imaginary part, the computations are going to be increased, and those computations required are 4 times of multiplication, which we have considered for n point DFT computation. So here 4 into n square real multiplications are required, and 2n into n-1 amount of real additions are required. So this is going to become, as we keep on increasing number of points, the computations are keep on increasing. That is the main hurdle of using DFT for direct computations. So to resolve this problem, the FFT algorithms have been designed. So we will talk about FFT algorithm. So FFT algorithm, here the divide and conquer, like British has applied the strategy. In the same kind, here also divide and conquer approach has been adopted. So in this now, there are 2 algorithms which we are going to study. The first algorithm is called as a DIT FFT algorithm, and second algorithm called as a DIF FFT algorithm. This divide and conquer, this is very important because as we go on implementing this kind of FFT algorithm, we will be dividing the entire sequence. So while dividing the entire sequence, this radix 2 is important. Radix 2 means every time we divide the entire sequence into 2 parts. We will be dividing the entire sequence into 2 parts. So this is called as a radix 2 algorithm. In this we will be looking into radix 2 DIT FFT algorithm, radix 2 DIF FFT algorithm, and one more algorithm for computation of DFT called as a Go-Etzel algorithm. So this algorithm we will understand at the end of this chapter. So these are the 2 methods. Now, while performing DFT computation, we will be adopting this butterfly structure. Let us say here 1 input, here is the second input. Then here multiplication by Twiddle factor is taking place. And here it is the addition of these 2 inputs. So as we are here, this can be written as A plus, this is, here you can see that there is 1 complex addition, and before 1 complex addition, there is 1 complex multiplication is taking place. So B gets multiplied by Twiddle factor, and then it is going to add with This is B multiplied by twiddle factor W. W raised to here W raised to R suffix capital N. So this is one the second input is multiplied by twiddle factor and added with the first input. In the same ground, here the subtraction is taking place at the second end of the output. So here you can say that B minus, sorry, this is going to be A minus B into W raised to R suffix N. So this structure looks like a butterfly. So this structure is called as a butterfly structure. So this is the important structure with which we are going to calculate the DFT values. And why we have adopted this structure, because here I will show you how the number of computations are going to be reduced because of use of this DIT FFT algorithm or DIF FFT algorithm. The computations are drastically decreasing. So here when I use a direct computation, I will have to perform n square complex multiplication, n into n minus 1 complex addition. But when I use DIT or DIF algorithm, the computations are decreasing. Here again, the computations are decreasing for complex multiplication as well as for complex addition. So you can see that as the number of point calculations, here 8 point DFT, here it is 16 point DFT, here it is 1024 point DFT. So if you see that in this table, last column of table, you can observe that as the number of points keep on increasing, the computations are drastically decreasing. It is 204 times of less as compared to direct computation. So this is the beauty of this algorithm. The computations are decreasing drastically. So because of that, this DIF and DIT algorithm are very popular. So in the DIF and DIT algorithm, the bits are reversed. When we apply input to the algorithm, the input is in the reversal manner. Bits are reversed. So input is in the reversal manner and output is in the sequential. So what is input? Input is nothing but time domain signal. So X of n is the time domain signal, or which is the input signal, where it is in the bit reversed manner, or it is bit reversed order. Whereas X of k as a DFT values, those are appearing at the end of the algorithm. Those are appearing in the sequential manner. Those will come in the sequential manner, whereas input is in the shuffled manner. So we will see that. What is this shuffling? So here there are two variables have been considered, m and n, in order to represent the sequential input and bit reversal input. So you can see that. So here the input, this m is representing the input variable. So this input is X of 0. This is X of 1, right? So this is X of 2. This is in the, now you can see that whatever I'm writing, it is in the sequential manner. X of 3 followed by X of 4 followed by X of 5 followed by X of 6. All those values are in the sequential manner. So X of 7, all the values are in the sequential manner. But what is the requirement of algorithm? For DIT computation, the input should be shuffled. It is the requirement of the algorithm. So here the second variable, n variable is representing. So how much it is being shuffled, you can see that this is X of 0 input, then this 100 is representing X of 4 input, then here it is X of 2 input, then here it is X of 6, you can see that, then followed by x of 1. The entire range has been now reordered. So x of 1 followed by this is 1 0 1 is x of 5 0 1 1 is representing x of 3 and 1 1 is representing x of 7. So entire input is now reordered or shuffled or bit reversed. So these are the requirement that we should apply input to the DIT algorithm in the bit reversal manner. So we'll see that what is that bit reversal. So here we have considered 8-point DFT. So 8-point DFT, as I'm considering 8-point DFT, I have a formula. N is equal to 2 raised to L. N is equal to 2 raised to L. So this is now 2 raised to L. I have 8 points. So 2 raised to 3. So for representation of this 8 level, I have to go through a represent or getting this output of 8-point DFT. I have to follow 3 stages. I have to go through 3 stages. So the first stage I will represent here. At the start of, I have this 8-point DFT values. So 8 different values I have. So in the first stage, I'm going to divide this into 2 parts. A half part means 4 values in the one part and 4 values in the second part. Then this again, this where I have divided this, again I'm going to apply division to that part. So this is again going to divide into 2 parts, 0 and 1. Similarly, this sequence or this part is also going to be divided further. So this is a stage 1 division. This is going to be a stage 2 division, and then there will be a stage 3 division. So in this way, 3 divisions are going to be taking place. Now, if you see that the order, how it is being changed. So if I'm getting this, this is 0 0 0. The first value will be 0 0 0. The second value will be 1 0 0. So second value is 1 0 0. Third value is 0 1 0. So third value is 1 0 1. Fourth value you can observe here. The fourth value is 1 1 0. So fourth value you will be getting 1 1 0. Next value is 0 0 1. The further value that you will get here 1 0 1. So this value is 1 0 1. Then next is 0 1 1. So next is 0 1 1. And finally all 1. So in this way the sequence is now changing because of division at each stage. Are you clear with? Because of this division, this order of the input which we are applying for DIT algorithm is changing, right? Now, see, this is the order which is now being changed. So in the radix 2 algorithm, we will see what is radix 2 algorithm. The sequence of length n should satisfy n is equal to 2 raised to L. The sequence, the number of points present in the sequence should be in the form of 2 raised to L. So L is an integer, and L also decides the number of stages through which you are going to operate upon the signal. So this is L. How does DIT FFT algorithm operates? We will see. In the DIT FFT algorithm, it starts decomposing the signal in the time domain. It starts to decompose n-point signal in the time domain. How much amount or where, up to what extent it goes to it goes for division. So it starts with n point and it will reach up to a 1-point division. I will show you. But this is the first thing that the DIT FFT algorithm is performing. That is, it decomposes n-point time domain signal into n signals, right? The next is each decomposing stage uses interlaced decomposition, means at each stage of decomposition, what it does, it divides the entire sequence into even and odd points. It divides the entire sequence into even point sequence and odd point sequence. Then to calculate n frequency spectra, because output is n point, because at the input side we have a n point samples, so output is going to be a n point frequency samples. So to calculate n frequency spectra corresponding to this n point time domain signal, the objective of DIT FFT algorithm is to calculate n point frequency spectra or DFT, n point DFT values. That is the objective of DIT FFT algorithm. So here we will see, here it is represented with the signal which is of 16 point, which is of 16 point DFT. 16 points are presented here. 16 points means 16 is equal to 2 raised to 4. 16 is equal to 2 raised to 4, means here in order to divide the entire sequence into a 1 point signal, how many stages I supposed to perform? How many stages of computation I supposed to perform? That is going to be represented here 2 raised to 4. So 4 stages, 4 different stages will have to apply in order to find out or in order to divide the entire sequence into a single point sequence. So here the first division. For the first division, what is there? The even points are going to be collected together and odd points going to be collected together. What are the even points here? This 0, then 2, 4, 6 and 8. How do we understand? How do we get this even point sequence? This is by using 2 into R. So value of R, if I'm writing here R is equal to 0, then first value of even point is 0. Yeah, R is equal to 1, then it is 2. R is equal to 2, then this is even value is 4. For R equal to 3, next even value is 6, 8, 10, 12 and 14. These are the all even values. And for odd values, how do you get odd values? 2R plus 1. So if I'm substituting R is equal to 0, my first odd value will be 1. Then I will be getting 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 and 14. So these are the two division, where the first division consists of even points. First division consists of even points or even sequence. Then second division consists of odd sequence. It is a collection of all odd values. This is the collection of all even values. This is the first stage, you can say that. This you can denote the division at the first stage. Then further, this is going to be divided into, again, this is going to be divided into further even values and odd values. For this now particular sequence, this value at the 0th position 0, this value is at the second position. So we can collect the even values and odd values together. So 0 for this particular sequence, 0, 4, 8 and 12. These are the even values. And what are the odd values? This is at the position 1. So 2 is the odd value, 6 is the odd value, then 10 is the odd value and 14 is the odd value. So in this way, the division is taking place. So this is you can say it as second level of computation. So this is going to be a second level of computation. So similarly here, this sequence is also going to be distributed among the even values and odd values. Further, for the next is at the third position, those values are again divided into even and odd points. Here again even and odd points, here again even and odd points, here again even and odd point. This is going to be a third stage of computation. This is going to be a third stage of computation, right? So, and finally, at the fourth stage of computation, those values are being divided into a single point computation. So this n point values, now it is being converted into a single point value. So this is in this way, the input is being shuffled. Now we will see actual graphical representation of DIT FFT algorithm in the further slides. So how this algorithm is working. So this is a n point sequence, as you have seen, 16 point sequence, or here we can take it in general. Let us consider n point input sequence x of n. Now this is going to be divided into half and half, or n by 2 point sequence. So x1 of r, what will be the value of x1 of r? X1 of r, which is equal to, this is going to be equal to x of 2r or 2n. These are the variables. You can take any value. So x1 of r, which is equal to x of 2r. Then second is x2 of r is representing the odd value. So we will write as x2 of r. It is equal to x of 2r plus 1. So entire sequence, n point sequence, is divided into half. So n by 2 point sequence. So this x1 of r is n by 2 sequence, x2 of r is also remaining n by 2 point sequence. Okay. So it divides the entire sequence into two parts. So this is represented here, even and odd values. So now using those even and odd values, we will be computing DFTs. So DFT values we will be computing for x1 of r and for x2 of r. So we will write here DFT equation. So what is my DFT equation? X1 of k is equal to summation. Now here r is representing half sequence. So the value of r will be changing from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. So here in the summation, you can observe that r changing from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Then here the first sequence is x1 of r. So I have written here multiplied by Twiddle factor w raised to rk suffix n by 2. So this is representing the first DFT values, DFT for the first sequence, and DFT for the second sequence. Here it is being calculated by x2 of r. So I have here further the values of this is being substituted. X1 of r is nothing but x of 2r, and x2 of r is equal to, we know that it is equal to x of 2r plus 1. It is equal to x of 2r plus 1. So DFT can be calculated. So first divide the sequence and then compute the DFT of x1 of r and x2 of r, whatever division that we have applied. So to compute the n point sequence, n point DFT for the sequence x of n, we have x of k is equal to summation. The first part consists, the entire sequence is from 0 to n minus 1, 16 points. But what we did, we have divided the sequence into even point and odd point, and which are consisting of, which we have collected from entire 16 points. So here you can see that summation n varies from 0 to n minus 1, because we have collected even values throughout the sequence. X of n w raised to n k suffix n, because this is a n point sequence, plus summation n varies from 0. Now here we will be talking about the odd sequence. So n will vary from 0 to n minus 1, x of n w raised to kn suffix capital N. Now we know that in the earlier slide we have seen that the even point we have represented and odd point we have represented. When we collect even point, it is going to be divided into half. The sequence is now even points are exactly half of the sequence point. So the entire sequence is divided into n by 2 point sequence. So further we will write here this sequence consists of even point and consists of odd point. The entire sequence is divided into half and remaining half part. So this half part is consisting of even point and this half part consists of odd points. So here the equation we have written as r varies from 0 to n by 2. This index r is representing the half points of the entire n point sequence. So r summation r varies from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2r w raised to this n is now replaced by 2r. So 2r k suffix capital N. This n is replaced by 2r. Whereas this n is going to be replaced by 2r plus 1. So here it is written summation r varies from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2r plus 1. These are the representing odd values. Now n here again n will get replaced. This is going to be w raised to 2r plus 1 multiplied by k suffix n. Now this twiddle factor we can separate out. So I will write here, this is, what is this? This is w raised to 2r plus 1 multiplied by k, and this is suffix n. So we can write it as this is the exponential part. So we can write it as w raised to k multiplied by 2r. So we will write here w raised to 2r into k suffix capital N. Suffix capital N. And second part is w raised to 1 multiplied by k. So this is going to be k suffix n. So this entire exponential part is now we have separated. So because of separation, the twiddle factor will look like w raised to 2rk suffix n multiplied by w raised to k suffix n. So this k here, this k is not depends upon r. Here the k is not depends upon r. So this value we have taken outside of the bracket. So in the summation, outside of this summation, so the equation we can write it once again. Summation r varies from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. Instead of representing this entire, what I did here, I have taken x2 of r, this notation. Instead of writing this complete x of 2r plus 1, I have taken this notation x2 of r, and this is being represented by x1 of r. So the equation further, the equation will be solved as summation r varies from n by 2 minus 1. This is being represented as x1 of r w raised to rk suffix n by 2 plus w raised to k suffix n multiplied by summation r varies from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. This value is represented by x2 of r w raised to this 2 I have taken in the denominator. Numerator it is there. So this can be taken in the denominator as a n by 2. So this rk in here in the denominator it is n by 2. So w raised to rk suffix n by 2. So here this if you observe that this is a n point n by 2 point DFT. This is the n by 2 point DFT, and this is the another n by 2 point DFT. The first part is exactly same as that of the n by 2 point DFT, and second part is also exactly same as that of the n by 2 point DFT. So this first part is represented as x1 of k, which is n by 2 point DFT, and second part is represented as x2 of k, which is again n by 2 point DFT. So this equation, this is the formula for calculating n by 2 point DFT. So we have given in terms of DFT values. So this x1 of k DFT values plus w raised to k suffix n x2 of k DFT values, where k varies from 0 to n minus 1, where k varies from 0 to n minus 1. Now this value x of k is equal to x1 of k plus w raised to k suffix n x2 of k, where k varies from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. This is what we have actually done for the half point sequences, but my entire sequence is of n point sequence. I have calculated DFT values for n by 2 point sequence only. So I will have to discuss about the remaining n by 2 point values. So this equation is now calculating n by 2 point DFT values. So remaining n by 2 point DFT values I will have to calculate by using periodicity property, right? I have to calculate the remaining points by using periodicity property. Periodicity property I will have to use. What is the periodicity property? After the fundamental period of time, sequence is repeating. In the same manner, now I have n by 2 values and I want to calculate the further n by 2 values. So I have taken x of k plus n by 2. So whatever value of k it is going to be plus n by 2. So next values are going to be calculated. So what I did here, I have added the period of n by 2 for each and every value, DFT value. So k is replaced by k plus n by 2 because I want to calculate the remaining values. I have calculated the half values for the DFT, but I have to calculate the remaining values. For that purpose, what I did, I have used a periodicity property. So for each and every sequence, what I have done, I have added the fundamental period. So what is the fundamental period? Here it is n by 2 because earlier I have calculated the n by 2 points, but remaining points I want to calculate. So this fundamental period n by 2 is now substituted or added to the DFT value. So this equation, this upper equation is going to be modified as x of k plus n by 2 is equal to x1 of k plus n by 2 plus w raised to k plus n by 2 suffix n into x2 of k plus n by 2. While doing this now, the twiddle factor we will take into the consideration. W raised to k plus n by 2 suffix n. So this is now, if I separate it out, so this is w raised to k suffix n, and second part is w raised to k by n by 2, w raised to n by 2 suffix n, w raised to n by 2 suffix n. So we will find out the value of w raised to n by 2 suffix n. So we know that the value of w suffix n. What is the value of w suffix n? We have seen in the linear transformation of DFT values. We have seen this value. What is that value? W suffix n, it is equal to e raised to minus j 2 pi upon capital N. The value of twiddle factor or W factor is e raised to minus j 2 pi upon capital N. So if I am substituting here value of this, so what is the value of twiddle factor is e raised to minus j. This is going to be 2 pi upon capital N into, now this one more exponential part is present over here. So this is N by 2. So what will happen? This N and this N is going to cancel each other. This 2 and this 2 is going to cancel each other. So the value will remain is e raised to minus j into pi. This is the value which will remain over here. So the output of this is equal to e raised to minus j pi. It is cos pi minus j sin pi. Cos pi is minus 1 and sin pi is always equal to 0. So this value is minus 1, which will be appearing here. So remaining points, we have calculated DFT for half points. So, but we cannot forget about the remaining half points. So those remaining half points will be calculated by applying this subtraction operation. By applying this, by using this formula, x1 of k minus w raised to k suffix n into x2 of k. So with this now we can implement a butterfly structure. I have shown you butterfly structure in the earlier slide. So this is the, here you can see the butterfly structure. Just for sake of understanding, the butterfly structure were been shown. So with this now, with the use of those butterfly structure, we can implement the computation of DFT. So x of n is divided into two parts, x1 of r, x2 of r. Individual values of x1 of k and x2 of k is calculated, and this is combining this, we'll get the output value x of k. So this is the first stage computation, x of n. But here the number of stages that one has to apply depends upon the formula. What is that formula? N is equal to 2 raised to L. L is deciding the number of stages. So this is the first stage computation that we have applied. In the next, the butterfly computational flow graph, we can show it as for x of k, the value from half points 0 to n by 2, we will be using this formula, and for remaining points, we will be using this formula. So there are two formulas. So this is going to be this is going to calculate the first n by 2 points, and this is going to calculate the remaining n by 2 points. Okay, so addition operation and subtraction operation. So this is the butterfly structure. X1 of k and x2 of k is the input. Then what we can say that for x2 of k, it is multiplied by twiddle factor. So we will be multiplying it by a twiddle factor, w raised to k suffix n. And then these 2 points are going to be added here. So we will be getting this equation. What is that? X1 of k plus w raised to k suffix n into x2 of k. Here you can see that this is first complex multiplication, and this is the first complex multiplication, and here it is the first complex addition. Similarly, by multiplying this with -1, we can get the second computation also, or remaining DFT values also we can find out by performing this multiplication operation. So with the use of butterfly structure, we can find out the DFT values. Okay, so with the butterfly structure, we can we can implement the flow graph in order to find out the DFT values. So this is the first stage computations. Similarly, there are one complex multiplication. So this is one complex multiplication and two complex additions are required. So we will be taking the particular case for 8-point DFT. We will consider the case for 8-point DFT. N is equal to number of samples present in the sequence are 8, 0 to 7. So total number of input present in the sequence are 8 points. Total samples are 8 samples. So if I'm considering total samples are equal to 8, then we can show it as N is equal to 2 raised to L. So we will fit the 8 points in this formula. So we will write here 8 is equal to 2 raised to 3. So number of stages I have obtained here, value of L is equal to 3. It means that I will have to go for 3 stage computations. 3 times I have to divide the sequence and calculate the DFT. Divide the sequence, calculate the DFT. Divide the sequence, calculate the DFT, right? So we'll see how this graph is going to operate. So what I'm going to do here first, from the entire 8-point sequence, even points are collected and those are represented as x1 of R. Further, this x2 of R. x2 of R is representing odd values, all odd values. Those are represented by the x2 of R. Now those values, again, those values are given to N by 2 point DFT. Here again, those values are given to N by 2 point DFTs. And we will be calculating by performing addition, half points 0 to 3. These points we will be calculating by performing the addition, and remaining half points. Remaining half points are being calculated by performing the subtraction operation. So the flow graph now, let us see that what we have done in the first stage, we have divided the sequence. The entire sequence that we have divided into half-point DFT, those are representing even values, and remaining half-point DFTs, those are representing the odd values. The 0 to 4 half points we will be calculating by performing complex addition operation, and remaining half points, these black points, you can see that those are being calculated by performing the complex subtraction operation. So we'll see that. See, this is now x1 of N is multiplied by W raised to 0 suffix 8. Actually, it should be W raised to 0 suffix 8, because my formula says that x1 of k, what is x1 of k? x1 of k is equal to how I'm calculating this? This is x1 of this is x of 2r, x of 2r plus W raised to k suffix N into x of 2r plus 1. Means even points are as it is, but odd points are getting multiplied by Twiddle factor. So these are the odd points, x of 1, x of 3, x of 5, and x of 7. All these are odd points. So this x1 of x of 1 gets multiplied by W raised to 0 suffix N. Here N is equal to 8. So you can directly write it as W raised to 0 suffix 8. And then complex addition is taking place. Next is, in the next part, the subtraction is taking place. Remaining half point. Here you can keep this equation in front of you. You will have to keep this equation in front of you. The half points are calculated by performing addition operation, and remaining half point N by 2 plus k So this is if I'm considering 8-point DFT. So for 8-point DFT, if I'm considering 8-point DFT, so for 0, K varies from 0 to 3. 0 to 3 values have been calculated by this formula, and remaining now here, this is n by 2 means 4, K plus 4 means here for K is equal to 0 to 3. Again, for this we will be calculating K plus 4. So for K equal to 0, fourth value we will be calculating. So first at the start we will calculate X of 0 value by substituting K equal to 0, and from this second equation we will calculate X of 4 value by performing subtraction operation. Then next, when I substitute K is equal to 1, by performing addition operation I will calculate X of 1, and by performing subtraction operation I will be calculating X of 5, right? So similarly here the addition operation applied and X of 2 is calculated. Here it is X of 6 is calculated by performing subtraction operation, and finally the last value X of 3 is calculated by performing addition operation and by performing subtraction operation. Here the last value X of 7 is calculated. So calculations are taking place accordingly. So I will show you. So first is X of 0 is calculated, and secondly we will be calculating X of 4. Further X of 1 by performing subtraction X of 5 is calculated, then X of 2, then X of 6 is calculated, then X of 3, and finally X of 7 is calculated. So these 4 values are calculated by performing addition operation. These 4 values are calculated by performing addition operation, and these 4 values are calculated by performing subtraction operation. So this is the stage 1 computation, you can say. How many stages we need to go? We have to go with 3 stages. So this is the stage 1 computation, right? So for the next stage of computation, what we have to do? We have to, in this way, we have to perform the 3-stage computation. The stage 1, this is the kind of stage 1 computation where it is going to divide into n by 2 points, and these are the n by 2 points. Again, this n by 2, 4 points are divided into again 2 points. Here addition operation is taking place, and here it is subtraction operation is taking place. So this is 0 and this is 2 because we are now reducing these computations. Again, here it is this n by 2 and n by 2 further divided into n by 4, n by 4. So this is the stage 2 computation. Are you getting this? This is the stage 2 computation, and this is the final stage 3 computation. This is the final stage 3 computation. So in this way, the entire algorithm shuffles the input values. The input values are bit reversed manner. So for the algorithm, we will have to apply bit reversed values, but the output that you are getting is in the sequential order. So as the input is now, why this is called as a decimation in time FFT algorithm? The reason behind is as we are changing or reordering the input value or time domain sequence signal, as we are reordering the sequence which is in the time domain. Because of this reordering of the time domain sequence, this algorithm is named as decimation in time FFT algorithm. Is that clear? Why this algorithm is named as DIT algorithm? Because we are performing decimation of the signal in the time domain, or reordering bit, or you can say that bit reversal of the signal is taking place in the time domain. So this algorithm is called as a decimation in time FFT algorithm. As here we have taken 8 points, so we need to apply 3 stages. So this is the stage 1 computation, this is the stage 2 and stage 3. Here the input is applied. So while computing, while calculating the output, we need to start with this. We have to give shuffled input to the algorithm, then it goes to this stage. Actually it goes to this stage, means here the computations are, while developing algorithm, I have shown you from this side to here. We have started from output, we have reached to input. But while calculating the calculating or when we want to compute the DFT, we should start from left to right. We have developed the algorithm from right to left, but while performing the DFT computation, we should start from left to, we should go to right. So we have to apply bit reversal input to the output. The first output should be calculated, then second stage output should be calculated, and finally output is calculated. So this is the final flow graph for computation of DFT values via DIT algorithm. So this is called as a decimation in time domain algorithm. Specifically, I have taken the example of 8-point DFT. You can use the kind of algorithm for 4-point DFT. When I'm considering 4-point DFT, so this much part will appear here. This upper part, only 2 stages will appear, and you will have to calculate the DFT values. If you go for 16-point DFT, one more stage will get added. One more stage will be added there. So this is the DIT FFT algorithm in order to calculate the DFT values. So in the next lecture, we will see computation of DFT values by means of DIT FFT algorithm. For this lecture, we will stop here.